Hey guys, drdecks here. Today we are going to review this little beauty, It's made by Metabo HPT, model number CJ18DA. This is an 18 volt jigsaw that will accept the multi-volt batteries, so you can actually get an 8 amp hour working out of it. If you like this video today, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. All right, so I just got this from Metabo and they sent it along and I've been using it a little bit. I wanted to do a quick review for you guys on it. First things first, whenever you're changing blades, take that battery out. Right? The ergonomics of the jigsaw is good. It has a nice thick handle. It fits the hand pretty well. If you have a smaller hand, you might have a little bit of a problem gripping it, but it's not too bad. It has an orbital switch for a rough cut, and then 2 intermediates, and then a 0 cut. So basically what that means, it changes how much oscillation you get in the blade when you move it. So right now it's just going straight up and down, right? But if I change the orbitation, you can see the orbital movement of this part right here moves back and forth. So it gives you a little bit more aggressive cut. It makes actually cutting through harder materials easier when that's moving back and forth like that. So if you take it into the middle, it does it, but not as much. And there it is, not at all. So it goes from not at all to a little bit, to some, to super aggressive. Okay, this particular jigsaw has a multi-speed trigger. You basically control the speed of the saw by how far you push in on the trigger. That's full speed. There's also a trigger lock right here. So when you're transporting your tool, you can lock the trigger out so that it doesn't sit there and run in your box the whole time. Okay, they do include a quick change setup for the blade, so it's spring loaded. You just pull out on this and it pulls your blade out. Okay, so it has a standard T-shank blade. This is a brand new DeWalt blade that I have in here right now. So basically you just pull this out. It makes it really quick and fast to change out your blades. One of the things on this particular jigsaw that it's like a love-hate thing for me. It comes with an onboard tool to change out the plate. If you're only using the jigsaw for straight cuts and you're never gonna bevel it, then this is a great option because it'll never loosen up. It'll always be tight. But if you want to change directions, you got to pull this Allen key out, you loosen up the nut, and then you push forward, and then you can tilt it up to a 45-degree angle each way. Once you get the angle you want, then you can tighten it back up. They do have a cutaway on the base plate so that you can get your tool in there and lock it back in to get that 45 or whatever angle. There is really no gauge on here. Oh yeah, there is. 45-degree angle gauge, a couple other indicators on here. So if you're just doing straight cuts, you just pull this back and you kind of see it starts to lock in, and then when you tighten this down, then it stays locked. So if you're doing a lot of bevel cuts, this can be kind of cumbersome to do that all the time. But it just depends on the style of what you're using it for and what you're cutting. So one thing that's kind of nice is they have this little rubber grommet on the inside of the plate that holds this key in place. So it's going to be hard to lose as long as you put it back every time. There's a battery indicator right here on the inside of the handle. You push that, and with 2 bars, that means, yeah, you got pretty much a full battery. You can also check your battery right here, and I got a full 4-bar battery. This thing is ready to rock up to 2,500 revolutions per minute. That's great. I got a piece of PVC right here. Let's just make a straight cut. I'm gonna do it on aggressive, because that'll be your fastest cut. We'll cut it once that way, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of scrolling with it. All right, here we go. All right, pretty plain and simple. Let's say you got to cut an arc or something out of a board. Another thing I like, there is an LED light up inside of here. I think I can trigger it without that. Illuminates, so even like I'm in the shade right now and I can still see that LED showing up on my workpiece right here. which is kind of nice. In my opinion, the head of this blade could have been a little more forward in the design of this jigsaw, but it's not bad. You know, you got to lean over a little bit. As long as you don't mind leaning over a little bit to see your blade, you're good to go. So, like, let's say I had a pattern on this board. To follow the pattern, I kind of have to lean over a little bit to see it. But it works just fine. Basically, that's the rundown on this jigsaw. I just thought I'd bring out another jigsaw that I have, a cordless. It's made by DeWalt, and compare the two and see what the differences are. All right, so you want to do that now? All right, let's do it. All right, so to be fair, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this blade off of this saw and take it off of this saw because it's brand new, so we're just being fair, and go like that. So this is a little bit older flex volt 20 volt DeWalt Max jigsaw. Full blast. It may have a little bit more power. It also has a spring-loaded tension device so that to take the blades in and out, and you just drop it in. Really easy to do. The one main difference between these two jigsaws is the DeWalt has a lever actuation to adjust your angle of your plate. There are also some angle indicators on the saw, 15 and 30 degrees and 45 degrees. So if you need to make a quick angle cut and you need it at 30 degrees or 15, you're good to go, or back to zero. If you're back to zero, you got to pull back on the plate a little bit and then you lock it back in. This is definitely a more convenient way to have a plate, but I have had issues in the past where this bolt loosens up and the whole thing becomes loose, and then when you're cutting, then the saw starts to tilt and then you don't have a very accurate cut. So it's just something that you need to watch out for, to always make sure that there is a nut in here that you can tighten up. There is no onboard tool because this is just a lever, like I said, but you can go in and tighten that up and you're good to go. So it also has a trigger lock. And this one does not have an LED light, which is kind of a bummer. I prefer an LED light. The blade is a little bit closer to your sight. You don't have to lean over as much to see it. So I don't know if I can transfer that off in a video, but let me put a blade back in this saw. So right now I cannot see the blade on this saw. So if I take this one over and I stay at the same angle, I can see the blade here, but I do have to lean over just a little bit. But I think I'd have to lean over my workpiece a little bit more to be able to catch the blade on this saw. I was thinking about taking this part off. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's a little bit hindering in my vision. So I might consider doing that. But for as far as cutting, let's do some of the same cuts we just did with the Metabo HPT saw. Oops, the T-shank, maybe I didn't put it in all the way. All right, it should be locked. Okay, it's a little bit faster, but it also is throwing out a lot more sawdust. Now again, I was cutting that on 3, which is the most aggressive. You can kind of see the head moving a little bit. And it has the same type of an adjustment settings from 0 if you want a really smooth cut, and 3 if you're more of an aggressive cut. So when you're doing scrolling and stuff like that, you're gonna want it on 3. So I would say as far as speed goes, this saw has a little bit more speed to it. As far as finish cut, we'd have to really put them on 0, I think, to see. I got a little bit of chipping on the edge of the board when I was on 3. All right, so in conclusion, both saws, they probably weigh, I think they weigh about the same. I don't have the specs on how much each one weighs. And of course, with different batteries, you're gonna get a different weight per saw. This is a 6 amp hour battery. This is actually an 8 amp hour battery because this is an 18 volt tool. you can get more amp hours out of the multi-volt batteries for about the same weight. All right, so as far as pricing goes, I just found this one on Lowe's.com, tool only for $99, which is a great value. This DeWalt I found on another competitor webpage for $159, tool only. So, you know, between 100 and 160 bucks. If you want to buy the kit, I don't know what the kit price is, just search around and see if you can find the best deal you can on it. I hope that helps some of you guys out today. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. And don't forget to leave a comment below. And don't forget to like our videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.